The production and manufacturing of goods have always been paramount to global development. Since the Industrial Revolution, research and development has gone into more efficient and profitable ways to manufacture different products. From production lines to robotic arms and complete automation of the manufacturing process, it may seem that most have been done in regard to efficiency in manufacturing. However, some individuals and enterprises have decided that there is so much more. To some extent, companies are experiencing diminishing returns with production on Earth, and are beginning to think about using outer space as a setting for its production. The different challenges of managing toxic byproducts on Earth are not a problem in space. Being able to manage all these things in space and greatly reduce the risk of working is set to make a massive change across many industries in the near future. The dynamics of the possible transition and the feasibility of this change will be explored more, and we will have a lot for you to learn. So in this video, we will show you how the future of manufacturing is rooted in space. Do watch this video until the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Given the close prospect of launching long-duration exploration missions, the design and manufacturing of space architects must also make a transition. Being able to achieve manufacturing in space would provide the opportunity for more sustainable and flexible missions, both in transit and on surface. This will be done through on-demand fabrication, repair and recycling capabilities for critical systems, habitats, mission logistics, and maintenance. With these things in place, there will be significant cost reductions due to the reduced launch mass, as well as a significant risk reduction due to the lower resilience on spares and over-designing items to ensure reliability. The In-Space Manufacturing (ISM) arm of NASA is developing these capabilities by leveraging the highly disruptive technologies being made on Earth and reproducing these operations in the space environment. Hence, the International Space Station (ISS) plays a role of a one-of-a-kind testbed for the ISM technology roadmap. The ISM is made up of an integrated task portfolio, which results in the development of manufacturing and recycling of systems and processes that will spur production of a wide variety of parts and components. The ISM has a motto which says, "Make it, don't take it," and is led by the Space Technology Mission Directorate, STMD, Game-Changing Development, GCD, and the Office with Marshall Space Flight Center, MSF, as the lead center. Well, that's a lot of acronyms. This project makes use of a streamlined management method with an average risk tolerance so as to obtain technical implementation with an aggressive schedule and budget baselines. There is enough space in space for business, and entrepreneurs worldwide are looking already to move manufacturing to a whole new level. Given that there is so much allowance, getting the equipment over and beyond will take a whole lot of money. What makes manufacturing in space such a great idea? Well, one product can be taken as an example, and that is the fiber optic cable. This is the technology responsible for high-speed data and long-distance communication. Higher grades of these cables are largely affected by gravity. The cables can be made on Earth, but it is very tricky, and the quality at the end can be very poor. Gravity causes some issues with the consistency of the structure, which also introduces weaker signals. During production, the molten glass is stretched into fibers as thin as fishing lines and then cooled. However, while it is cooling, tiny crystals may form, making signal transmission poorer. The microgravity will suppress the formation of these crystals, and more data will be carried over long distances through manufacturing in space. This process will produce higher quality Z-blan, which is very valuable. A kilogram of Z-blan will cost over $1 million. The method to this will be a luggage-sized, self-contained drop tower that will be launched into space in order to take advantage of the microgravity environment on the ISS. These contraptions will be used to spool the materials inside. As a result of the low gravity obtainable, these devices will be able to spool hundreds of kilometers of Z-blan per day, which will mean a lot of profit on Earth. In addition, the microgravity environment on the International Space Station is suitable for more humanitarian efforts. Great strides have been made in the stem cell technology and biological 3D printing. These advantages have been so remarkable that we are now on the verge of printing functioning hearts from a human stem cell. This will mean that the organ will not be rejected by the host body, and patients would not need immune suppressants for life. As with the case of fiber optics, building such has the challenge of gravity. The hearts will be highly organized muscle tissue, and that has different types of cells that are almost impossible to be made on Earth by printing. For hard tissue to be successfully built, the nutrients and stem texture would have to be in a very liquid medium. This cannot be achieved on Earth without some form of scaffolding for the ink. It has been very difficult for scientists to figure out a way to remove the scaffolding without damaging the completed organ. If these operations can be moved to space, then that would mean there will be a complete revolution. The 3D printers on Earth are not essentially 3D in the sense of operation. They work by stacking two-dimensional layers of material on top of each other. This process usually takes a long period of time. With specially designed 3D printers in space, the speed is increased by almost 100 times. A recent test was carried out, and a 3D human heart lost about half of its height, and gravity was restored moments after printing. A printed organ will be ready for use on Earth about 45 days after printing. This technology would certainly be a game changer in the medical industry. It will mean that patients can receive organs from their own stem cells with no possibility of immune rejection, or having to wait for some years before getting their organs. Another great application of manufacturing in space will be very beneficial and profitable, and that is the manufacturing of super efficient solar panels. Gallium arsenide is a much better conductor of solar energy than the usual silicon-based panels currently being used around the world. Gallium arsenide has about 40% efficiency as opposed to the 15% provided by silicon solar panels. The challenge with manufacturing this product on Earth is that there are so many toxic byproducts such as arsenic. In the 90s, the first GAs semiconductors were made in space. This product was about 10,000 times better than what was attainable on Earth. The vacuum of space gives great room for the compound to be grown in, and heat layers just one atom high. Thousands of these layers stacked on top of each other will result in a product free of defects, which will increase solar panel efficiency by a theoretical 60%. Assembling these panels in space and making them oriented in such a way that they will always face the sun, large amounts of the solar facility could still be used on Earth. Toxic byproducts will have no negative effects due to the fact that they're in space, and if this is done on a very large scale, solar energy demands on Earth will surely be fulfilled. The manufacturing of microchips in space is another method that will reduce the wastage of water on the planet. The production of a single 12-inch integrated circuit requires about 2,200 gallons of water for the cleaning and cooling process. If the manufacturing industry of microchips can be moved into space, it will mean that such massive waste of water is unnecessary. While in space, it will cause fewer environmental hazards and production will be in better conditions. Metal alloys are also a great fit for space manufacturing. Microgravity allows metals to mix more evenly than under the influence of gravity. One of the alloys with high potential is the magnesium alloy for medical implants. Magnesium alloys are half the weight of titanium alloys and match the density and strength of the human bone very closely. They also do not biodegrade in the body harmfully. Parshat Kunta, a bioengineering professor in the University of Pittsburgh, is currently working to produce patented alloys in a high-temperature furnace on the ISS in partnership with TechShot. The process of making these alloys involves melting highly reactive magnesium with other elements such as calcium and zinc. After this is done, the melted materials are left to mix evenly in a vacuum for a protracted time, after which it is cooled. On Earth, these alloys are more difficult to make because impurities settle at the bottom, and the upper layer oxidizes to form a skin that cannot be used. Most layers have to be disposed of. In fact, the usable middle layer usually has pockets and pores of unmixed elements which have to be processed further for any quality material to be produced. While manufacturing these alloys in microgravity, all these challenges do not arise. Just as some scientists are working to produce human organs in space, an Israeli startup, Aleph Farms, is planning to do the same with the production of meat. This company grows cultured beefsteaks that have the same taste and look as real meat. The external relations manager of the company, Yoav Reisler, stated that while other companies use only muscle cell, we grow connective tissues, blood vessels, and fat cells that let us make beefsteaks instead of patties. The company has partnered with Russian company 3D Bioprinting Solutions to create the first tiny piece of meat on the ISS. Although this is not such a huge stride, it does pave the way for more work to be done. And eventually, this meat could feed astronauts on long-term crewed missions and future space settlers in return. These are just some of the great things that can be achieved through manufacturing in space. The possibilities are limitless, and the future of the industry beckons. As space transport becomes more commercialized and more forays are done up in the sky, manufacturing is sure to follow suit. it is expected that there will soon be a boom in these space technologies so as to increase the possibilities of more activities carried out in space. Businesses can look forward to making more gains as they manufacture in space. The end result of space manufacturing would be beneficial to the environment as there would be less harm done. It would also mean that the global population will have higher access to higher quality products and a whole lot of clean energy. A revolution's on the way, and we are all gearing up for a greater future of manufacturing and a better Earth in the process. Thank you for watching this video. While you're still here, go ahead and click on one of these videos on your screen for more high quality content. See you there. SpaceX is planning to launch the Falcon 9's Inspiration 4, the first all-commercial astronaut mission to orbit, in the last quarter of 2021. The billionaire CEO of Shift4, Jared Isaacman, is one of the passengers of the spaceship, and he has already donated the remaining 3 seats in the spacecraft to lucky individuals, who will be chosen in due time. The crew that will be on the Inspiration 4 flight will receive the necessary training by astronauts so that they're well prepared. The journey is a multi-day orbit around the Earth in 90-minute intervals along an already predefined flight path. There is a lot more that you need to know about the billionaire paying for the space tickets and this exciting mission, so make sure to stay until the end to get all the details. If you haven't already, please make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more high-quality content. SpaceX has made it known to the public that they will be launching their first ever completely civilian private spaceflight mission. This is a very expensive tourism launch, and it is set to fly by the last quarter of 2021. The mission is to make use of SpaceX's Dragon Crew spacecraft with Falcon 9 rocket. Jared Isaacman, CEO of Shift4 Payments, is also to be in the craft, with 3 other crew members sponsored by Jared Isaacman, his company, and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. The name of the mission is Inspiration 4, and it's already pulling in a lot of attention online. A website has already been made for it with a countdown to launch time. 2 of the 4 seats on this ride have also been slated for individuals from St. Jude. One has already been assigned, but the person has not yet been identified. It will be a frontline healthcare worker at the Children's Research Medical Center. The other one will be the winner of an online contest from a pool of those who make donations to St. Jude. Finally, the 3rd seat will go to an entrepreneur owning a business built on Shift4's e-commerce platform for online stores. Isaacman has set aside $100 million for St. Jude being a part of the Inspirational 4 campaign. He's also looking to raise at least $100 million, again from contributions made through the program. Jared Isaacman has experience in flight, and he once created and led a private air force apart from running Shift4 Payments, which he started when he was 16. The company is now processing more than $200 billion in transactions annually. The private air force he created was sold to Blackstone, a large international military contractor. At the time, the business trained pilots for the United States Air Force. Isaacman is a trained pilot himself, certified for both commercial and military flight. This is why he was chosen to serve as the Dragon's flight commander. His experience and donations have earned him this placement. Jared Isaacman has a childhood dream of going to space and is now 37 years old. His dream will soon become a reality. With the Inspiration 4 mission he has chosen to sponsor, Isaacman decided that he was going to go to space when he was 5 years old. He was calculated about it at the time and took a while to get it into motion. Being an accomplished pilot, he set a world record for the fastest flight around the world in a light jet in 2009. Jared calls himself a space geek and has an estimated net worth of $2.3 billion, according to Forbes. He's refused to reveal how much this mission will cost him, and it is certain that this sort of flight will not be cheap, as he already donated $100 million to St. Jude's Hospital and is also paying for 30-second Super Bowl ad spots, which is said to be about $5.5 million annually. To have an idea of how much his seat is, NASA pays SpaceX roughly $55 million for every astronaut that goes to space from a SpaceX capsule. Isaacman believes that all of these expenses are not so much, as this is the first step forward towards a world where everyone can venture among the stars. Jared Isaacman founded the company Shift4 as a teenager in his parents' basement in New Jersey, and has been doing that for the past 20 years. When he was a teen, Isaacman and his friend, Brendan Lauber, spent most of their time fixing computers and building websites. They then tried to make some money with these skills that they had acquired. While in high school, Isaacman sold computers while having a summer job at CompUSA. In reality, he was only using this to funnel clients to his own business. About his beginning days, he said, "I was poaching customers. When customers would come into the store with their computer issues, I would tell them, you can buy this, or maybe, if you want, I've got this business on the side and I'll take care of it for you." One of the clients he poached was Mario Parasi, the CEO of a payment processing company called Merchant Services Inc., MSI. Mario was so impressed with Isaacman's work when he cleared the company's network of viruses that he gave him a job as an in-house IT consultant. Isaacman chose to take the job and drop out of high school. His parents had one condition for him to leave high school. They wanted him to have at least a high school diploma. He then got a GED and eventually earned a college degree. When Isaacman worked in MSI for barely 6 months, he got an idea to start his own company. His idea was a payment processor that would make it easier for merchants to have credit card terminals without so much paperwork. He thought that he could attract businesses by simplifying the rigorous process. He went in to get a $10,000 check from his grandfather as a seed funding to start up his business in his parents' basement. He used that money to build a couple of computers and got some phones to get going. The company was called United Bankcard, and then the name was changed in 2012 to Harbor Touch. In 2018, the name was changed again to its current name, Shift4 Payments. Isaacman hired his dad, who was an experienced salesman, as well as his friend Lauber, the current CTO, Chief Technology Officer of the company. With their coding and IT skills, they built the online application process, while his father searched for clients by calling local restaurants and other small businesses. With his father as the salesman, Isaac didn't need to interface face-to-face with his clients, who may have been scared due to his age. Isaacman did not meet with any clients till he was in his early 20s. One of the United Bankcard's first major clients was Mailboxes, a shipping company. They hired his startup to provide payment processing systems for more than 4,000 retail locations. By 2001, UPS had acquired Mailboxes, and now over 5,000 UPS stores in North America used Isaacman's services. Isaacman moved from his parents' basement to his first corporate offices in Highbridge, New Jersey, and opened more offices in Arizona and North Carolina in the following years. At the moment, Shift4 Payments has headquarters in Allentown, Pennsylvania, with over 730 employees spread across 8 office locations scattered around the US, Canada, and Lithuania. Shift4 now possesses billions of transactions for over 200,000 businesses, which include large restaurant chains such as Auntie Annie's, Popeyes, and Denny's, as well as hospitality chains including Mandarin Oriental Hotel Group and Caesars Entertainment. Isaacman says that after a couple of years of giving his whole life to the company, he began to burn himself out. He then decided he wanted to start flying. He'd been into planes and flying since he was a very young boy. He'd learned about the military space aircraft when he attended Aviation Challenge, a youth camp hosted by the United States Space and Rocket Center. He started flying lessons in 2004, and in 5 years, he was able to set a world record in a Cessna Citation CJ2, going around the world in just under 62 hours, about 20 fewer hours than the previous record. Isaacman founded Draken International in 2012, a company that employs military-trained fighter pilots to train student pilots for the United States Air Force. Even though Isaacman was exposed to some military-grade airplanes, he says he didn't think they can be compared to flying a spacecraft to orbit the Earth. Isaacman has been looking for such opportunity for many years, as he was waiting for a private company to launch an all-civilian flight. When he heard about SpaceX, he was eager to work with them, and eventually got his chance when SpaceX launched the first ever manned spaceflight mission in 2020. Elon Musk has agreed with Isaacman that this flight is an important milestone towards enabling access to space for everyone. For this mission, there will be a pre-launch commercial astronaut training. This training would include instruction in orbital mechanics and zero-gravity maneuvering. The flight is set to take off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida and then circle around the globe for multiple orbits. SpaceX estimates that one orbit will take around 90 minutes, and the spacecraft will remain there for some days. Elon Musk said in a public hearing that the company suggests about 2 to 4 days for the flight. But this was up to Jared Isaacman if he wanted more. The number of days desired, the spacecraft will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere and make a water landing in the Atlantic Ocean. Once it lands in the ocean, the SpaceX crew will recover it themselves. This mission is to use the SpaceX Dragon capsule, which is currently at the International Space Station. NASA has already given their approval and cooperation for the launch. SpaceX has revealed earlier that they want to host private missions with Dragon immediately when it was approved for human flight by NASA. Now SpaceX is on the front foot with the first dedicated private mission getting ready for takeoff. All other private space tourism efforts may have been surpassed by SpaceX, including Virgin Galactic's suborbital spaceplane day tours. In an interview, Elon Musk asked about the orbit of the missions. He replied by saying, "I do really want to emphasize that this is up to you. You know where you go, and where you want to go, we'll take you there." In response to a question about the accoutrements passengers could bring up, Musk transferred the question to Isaacman, who said, "If we can get some creature comforts up there, that's kinda cool. Wouldn't it be nice to have a tour of the Earth's orbit from space?" The success of this first flight will determine the importance and how important space exploration will be in the future, as this first flight will decide how others turn out. Elon Musk's last startup before Tesla and SpaceX ended very abruptly. This video will introduce PayPal and also Elon Musk's initial X.com. We will further examine their business models and how they came into a merger which later saw Musk ousted out of power as the company's CEO. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more high quality content just like this. Now, let's get right into it. Now, Elon Musk was removed from his role as PayPal CEO in 2000. Originally, Musk founded a payments company which he called X.com, and he went on to merge with Peter Thiel's Confinity in 2000, where he was named CEO. With interest, not many people know how Elon Musk was ousted out of power, but we all know that he heads two companies in the space and electric vehicle sector. PayPal, as a money transfer service, was initially founded by Max Levchin, Peter Thiel, Luke Nosek, and Ken Howry in 1998. But then it was named Confinity, something considered to be a combination of confidence and infinity. The company works as a payment processor for online vendors, auction sites, and is used for other commercial purposes, which it charges a fee. The Ukrainian-born computer scientist from Chicago, Max Levchin, had launched 3 startups as well as NetMeridian, which he later sold to Microsoft for the sum of $100,000 before his graduation. As he waited for the deal to be finalized, he was caught in an emotional turmoil while traveling to Silicon Valley and crashing at his friend's place. Ultimately, he didn't know what to do. At this time, he successfully attended a lecture at Stanford University by Peter Thiel, an American businessman, philanthropist, political activist, and an author, and later pitched a company to Thiel. The company would create a library to encrypt schemes, which could then be licensed. Thiel accepted the intriguing idea and promised that his hedge fund would invest a couple of $100,000 as seed money. Their fledgling enterprise was named FieldLink. After they began work on the crypto library, Max Levchin learned that there was no intrinsic want for this level of security, and that was when Thiel suggested the idea of storing money. This further sent Levchin on the path to create cryptographically secured IOU, an informal document acknowledging debt notes that could be beamed from user to user via Palm's built-in infrared ports. Palm is the trade name for a popular personal digital assistant, a handheld device that could also be known as a palm-top computer. They named their new venture as Confinity. Later, Levchin commented that a user would not necessarily need a Palm to navigate their products. He mentioned that since users could sync the software with email and the web, with or without a Palm, the user could transfer money. They named this product as PayPal. On the long run, Luke Nosek advanced with the idea of a financial persuasion to foster PayPal's virality. Any sign-up on the software will receive a $10 deposit into their PayPal account and a reward of $10 for every new user they referred. The sellers of eBay, the online auction and shopping website, then needed a better way to complete their online transactions. This referral conception of PayPal made the sellers in eBay embed PayPal for payment service, which they linked to the PayPal homepage. This allowed PayPal more development. At the time, PayPal wasn't the only company digging the online gold, as there were other competitors including DotBank, PayMe, and X.com, who promoted similar services. X.com was headed by Elon Musk, and he eventually broke the bank by giving $20 per new user, copying services and strategies of PayPal. As PayPal raced ahead, X.com followed swiftly. As you've rightly guessed by now, negative cash flow appreciated to an epic proposition for both PayPal and X.com. Thiel believed that the company to win will be the first to file for an initial public offering. Then, PayPal and X.com merged in March 2000, with Bill Harris leading the combined company, Elon Musk as the chairman, and Thiel was the chief financial officer. Both companies clashed. X.com's serious culture crashed into PayPal's freewheeling environment. This caused heated arguments between Thiel and Harris, eventually causing Thiel to quit the company. The merger between the companies continued to battle, and Musk arranged an emergency board meeting to replace Harris as CEO. Elon Musk was labeled as the new CEO, and Thiel returned as chairman, and the board ordered a new management team to solve its cash flow problems. The issues did not get solved then, and Elon Musk rightly took steps to transform the PayPal brand into something that would favor X.com, because at the time, company surveys revealed that X.com did not really gain public attention due to it being reminiscent of the porn industry. Max Levchin then gathered his former executive team together and led a PayPal revolt, which took up a position to the board to remove Musk, otherwise PayPal would leave the deal. As Elon Musk was on a plane to go on vacation with his partner Justine, the executives delivered a letter of no confidence to the company's board, taking Elon Musk out as CEO and replacing him with Peter Thiel. When he arrived for his honeymoon in Sydney, Australia, the removed CEO had to immediately fly back to Palo Alto, California, according to the book by Ashley Vance, Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the Quest for a Fantastic Future. Although their business models were short of what companies initially expected, the Elon Musk administration achieved significant feats. In March 2000, after their merger, PayPal was swimming in almost 15,000 new clients per day with its peer-to-peer payment services. Elon Musk expanded PayPal's services to give chance for payments between businesses and consumers, including transactions conducted on cell phones. The clients who deposited funds into the X.com account by electric fund transfer, credit card transfer, or check were allowed to pay bills either at the X.com website or by pressing the letter X on their cell phones, then further inputting the email address of the payee. Businesses that accepted payments made by PayPal were not charged any monthly fee, compared to the typical 2.9% fee charged by other credit card firms. On the flip side, PayPal demanded a 1.9% charge for each transaction completed, compared to the stipulated industry standard of 30% per credit card transaction. Before the merger, X.com offered online payment services on the Evite.com event planning website, and as a result, Evite users in the United States could easily make payments while they responded to an online invitation. X.com's peer-to-peer consumers grew to exceed 3 million, and then the firm began to focus on business-to-business payments, hoping to penetrate the market as it had done to the peer-to-peer market. As a result, the company forged a deal with Bylink Corporation, a San Francisco-based online marketplace that provided services for about 8,300 retailers and 3,000 manufacturers. With the PayPal service, Bylink users could make instant payments to one another. On the other hand, the firm faced negative publicity when about 125 PayPal users that bought computer hard drives at an online auction couldn't receive what they'd purchased. This, coupled with the fact that the value of transactions conducted over PayPal were appreciating, prompted X.com to offer fraud protection, similar to the protection offered by credit card companies. As part of its fresh CyberSource fraud scan, the firm inclusively added a member information guide that allowed buyers to verify that sellers had been reviewed by X.com. Musk went on to then launch a major redirection of the company's strategy, according to an American banking columnist, Megan J. Patek. Furthermore, he said, rather than offer a wide range of banking and related systems, the Palo Alto Caliph company will become a solely global payment system. By the time, PayPal was providing services to about 4 million consumers and handled close to around 50% of the transactions conducted by PayPal on Amazon. Elon Musk then made the decision to make X.com reverse its plans to buy First Western National Bank. The purchase that had been planned as a means to gain federal deposit insurance for its virtual accounts. To increase its foothold in the B2C and B2B markets, X.com began working on forging alliances with insurance firms, banks, and other financial institutions. Via a 5-year agreement with Intuit Inc., X.com gained exclusive rights to provide online payment services to the 3 million small business customers using Inuit technology. Eventually, X.com officially changed its name to PayPal. Following international expansion efforts, which gave internet users outside the USA the chance to open up PayPal accounts in 2000, PayPal and a financial service group, the ING Group, began work to extend email payment services throughout Europe, and by 2001, the firm had expanded its reach to 26 countries. And that month, PayPal compiled a list of 5,600 PayPal shops which were making shopping easier and making shoppers easily locate merchandise and merchants that accepted PayPal payments. Furthermore, PayPal and the Providian Corporation began offering a credit card that gave PayPal members various perks, and after Musk's removal, efforts to increase business-to-business and business-to-consumer operations continued. Thank you for watching one of our videos, and while you're here, go ahead and click on one of these videos on your screen. Check out those juicy details that we coach in them there. See ya!